I never pay for these online manga subscriptions. If you ask me, the $10 a month that I have to give is just going to their pockets and not the dude slaving away for 10 minutes of my time every week. I'd rather buy Nami body pillows off the official website just to throw in the trash. So in that spirit, I found a website that lists a bunch of web scans and updates them pretty regularly. My hope is to scrape all these images, compile them into PDFs, and keep an up-to-date library on my hard drive. Not too hard in theory, but as usual I decide to over-engineer it and write my own piracy script. Here's the plan. A Python script running on my computer will request the chapter list page in pure HTML format with all the chapters listed. My program will then read that page, extract all the individual chapter links, and request those pages in pure HTML format. Then on each chapter page, I save all the images and compile them into a PDF. So with that in mind, I needed to set up an environment. I copied and pasted a series of commands that I had either memorized at this point or bookmarked. To start actually coding though, I want to Google through a proof of concept that will actually read in the HTML pages in Python and scrape the images. So with some trash script and some questionable design choices, I managed to get all the links to the images and even download a few of them. Next step was to scale up the code. I don't want all my logic to be hard-coded into the script, so I decided to make a terminal command. This way I could signal the program to download a range of chapters, all the chapters, the first few, or the newest chapters without editing any code. But anything that makes the code easier to use means it's harder to code. So I spent pretty much the rest of the night figuring out Python's argument parser library and finally designed a scheme that wouldn't suck. I got a little too carried away with argparse and I hadn't even generated a single PDF yet. But since I already have argparse set up, I also had to add a bunch of boilerplate code that I could have skipped if I did the PDF code first. Lessons for next time, I guess. Actually generating PDFs from images in Python isn't too bad. Standing on the work of those who actually read the PDF spec, all it took was a single import and a few lines of code. But in the process of downloading a bunch of images, I ran into an issue. The requests to download the images were failing. Upon inspection, the image server was blocking my requests with 403 forbidden. No issue though, I'll Google my way out of this one. Upon Googling the name of the image server though, I actually found someone else who made a script to do the same thing I was doing. But after looking at it, my code is better. To solve the problem though, I had to force the request as coming from the original manga website. Without it, all my requests were getting auto-blocked by Cloudflare. So all that meant was copying the request headers in Safari and putting them into my code. And there we go, an actual PDF I scraped from the website. Now that I could download a single chapter, all I had to do was write the logic that surrounds the different download options, like range, all, first, and last. At this point, the code was approaching unmaintainable though, so I spent some time writing comments. In the end, I had a script that would download manga from the internet, but I wasn't done. I needed to automate it. There's a cool thing on most computers called cron. It allows you to schedule the running of any terminal command. So I wrote my command into cron, telling it to run every day at midnight for all the ones I want. And there we go. The next day I checked the output folder and boom, automated piracy. In total, I spent about 6 hours making this script. And was it worth it? Probably not on a time saved front, but I won't have to ever go to the website again. Worth it.